Unless you've been hiding under a rock, you will have noticed, thanks to the heavy-handed PR campaign behind his latest movie, Bad Boys, Ride or Die, that Will Smith is making a comeback in promotion of his first big leading role since the slap 2 years ago when he struck an unsuspecting Chris Rock at the 94th Academy Awards in front of a global audience, after Rock made a weak joke about Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith's hair. Smith has been busy popping up at cinemas, engaging in promotional skits with his Bad Boys co-star Martin Lawrence, and flooding social media with content. He is, in essence, doing what most prominent actors in Hollywood tend to when they're fronting a blockbuster movie: selling it, and selling it hard. It seems that it is paying off. The fourth installment of the Bad Boys franchise has dominated the US and UK box offices and has been called the boost Sony Pictures needed after a slow start to the summer for the film industry. It's a dream scenario for Smith as far as comebacks from Hollywood scandals go. Briefly, the butt of jokes and the source of a peculiarly visceral explosion of anger and fear from a number of public figures. What if he'd slapped the then recently deceased national treasure Betty White? Director Judd Apatow asked him at the time, "What would happen if you kill off Chris Rock?" Smith seems well on his way to reclaiming his status as the frontman for profitable, and perhaps mediocre, movies, but that doesn't seem to hold some people back. In numerous posts and videos I've seen either promoting the movie or Will Smith specifically, comments from the public indicate that many smell a rat. They don't buy the relaunch. They're not quite ready to welcome Smith back into the fold, viewing any move he makes as an attempt to make us forget what happened on that stage 2 years ago, or to hide his status as a cuckold who humiliated himself for the sake of a woman who persists in damaging their marriage by speaking openly about the difficulties they encountered as a couple. Frankly, I'm not particularly surprised by the negative reaction from stereotypical right-wing men, whose main issue with Will Smith is that they don't like his wife or that he represents ideas they perceive as threatening to their ideas of masculinity. This outlandish criticism existed long before the slap and will likely exist long after it. I also don't particularly envy those who think his attacks on his colleagues went too far. I'm not angry, but I recognize that it happened and that it shouldn't have happened. But I think it's time for us to get over this, at least in the sense that it's a bit silly to expect it to completely halt because of what's happened. Or is there some grand conspiracy behind his desire to maintain his wealth and success while continuing to work beyond it? There are famous people who have done much worse or been accused for more unforgivable reasons, yet still achieved great success. Those with historical instances of assault, such as Mark Wahlberg, who committed a number of hate crimes in his youth and in 2014 attempted to seek pardon for one of 2 violent attacks against Vietnamese men in the late 80s. Figures like Mike Tyson, who was convicted of rape in 1992 yet still enjoys a relatively successful career and has largely been rehabilitated as a lovable, yet troubled figure in the public eye. There are lesser-known stars like Cheryl Tweedy, whose careers and reputations seem not to have been damaged by the allegations of assaulting a black restroom attendant in 2003. He was found not guilty of racially motivated assault. Or stars like Brad Pitt, who was accused in court of physically abusing Angelina Jolie and her children, a charge he denies, yet continues to build his career without any impact from these accusations. I could go on. So why is Smith being treated special? I think it's the very public nature of the slap that makes Smith's return so hard for some to accept. Politics around race and respectability have certainly influenced many of the spiteful responses, with commentators and public figures competing to see who can be the most outraged. Because for these people, it wasn't so much the slap as